Good evening, ham radio operators. Welcome to the Weekend Wind Down Net. This is Ernesto, AI5PZN. I'm using the 224.100 repeater, tone 100. And I'll be your net controller for tonight. Mireya is out. She's driving right now from Fort Worth to Austin, so it'll be just me for tonight. This net is also linked to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. If you're listening through the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and wish to participate, be sure your tone is set to 114.8. You can also reach us via Echolink by connecting to KA5D-R or N5OAK-R. For All-Star access, use node 409er33 or 51444. The Weekend Wind Down Net, it's a rack chew net. We get together on Sunday nights to talk about the weekend. Did you work on a project? Did you do some barbecue? Watch the movie? Went fishing? Or were you stuck catching up with chores? Hand related or not, tell us. Was your weekend a blast or a bust? Please note this is a directed net, so please refer all calls to net control. We will not have any scheduled pauses for emergency traffic, but we will yield the air to any break-in emergency. With that in mind, please leave room between check-ins and transmissions to allow for any emergency traffic. We're using the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system, big thanks to Kyle, K5D, and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club for letting us use the repeater system for this net. Please visit the University Link repeater system website to learn more. That's KA5D.com. To learn more about the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, including how to become a member, go to N5OAK.org. Before we get started with the net, I'm going to read you a list of the local nets so that you can stay radioactive throughout the week. On Mondays, we start with the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club 6-meter Monday, hosted by Rick. AI5A, that's on the 50.125 megahertz frequency upper sideband at 8 p.m. On Tuesdays, the Oak Hill Southside Simplex, hosted by Ray. K5EZI, that's on the 146.555 megahertz frequency at FM at 8 p.m. At 8 p.m. also, the DMR Soundcheck Net, hosted by George, W5JDX and Tommy, N5ZNO, that's on the 441.300 megahertz repeater, the DMR machine at 8 p.m. On Wednesdays, the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday Net, hosted during the summer by Ernesto, KI5PZN, and Kyle, KA5D, and that's on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system at 8 p.m. On Thursdays, the Oak Hill CW Net, hosted by Pat, W5WTH, that's on 3.532 megahertz frequency at 7:30 p.m. On Thursday, the Oak Hill Thursday Night Net, hosted by a different operator every week. That's on the N5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system at 8 p.m. on Thursdays. On Friday night, the Oak Hill Friday Night Trivia Net, hosted by Rusty, WZ5BBS, that's on the N5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system at 9 p.m. on Fridays. On Saturdays, the Austin Amateur Radio Club Elmer's Net, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW, on the 146.940 megahertz repeater at 7 p.m. At 9 p.m. on Saturdays, the 220 megahertz Guys Original Preservation Net, hosted by Steve, KB9DSQ, that's on the 224.100 megahertz repeater at 9 p.m. On Sundays, the Austin Amateur Radio Club 10-meter net, hosted by Rod, W5NDS. That's on the 28.410 megahertz frequency at 3 p.m. At 7 p.m., the Travis County Area Weekly Net, and that's on the 147.360 megahertz repeater at 7 p.m. At 7:30 p.m., this one, the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, and Mireya, KI5SYX. That's on the University Link repeater system and the M5OAK repeater system at 7:30 p.m. At 9 p.m., the Austin Amateur Radio Club SWAPnet, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW. That's on the 146.940 megahertz repeater at 9 p.m. These are the weekly nets that we have access here locally. We have more over Echolink, but those are the ones that we could reach here through using our repeaters or simplex. Let me do a station ID, and this is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, from the 224.100 repeater. Tone 100, Sunday night at 7 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. Not a whole lot going on for this weekend for me. I spend the week here at the house, and that includes the weekend. I kind of got away on Thursday for a little bit to play the Fox in Williamson County. For those of you who were looking for that, I'm going to pick it up after the net. I think the battery's already dead, according to Philip. He was driving around that area, and I know he was around that area where the Fox is, and it sounds like the battery might be dead by now. But I placed that Fox on Sandbass Road, Round Rock. There's a Round Rock, the actual Round Rock on Sandbass Road. It's basically across the street, across the bridge. But that's where I placed the Fox. So I know a couple of guys found it, and I'm gonna check the log to see if more people found it. I know that Doug found the KG5UNK, and Paul KI5FZU for sure. I know those two found the Fox, but that's about it. Other than that, I try to check in on every single net that I found while I was here at the house and doing as much radio as possible. But that's about it. That's not a whole lot to write home about this week. I wonder how everybody else's weekends went. If you would like to come in and check in, please come in with your call sign and name. I'm listening.
This is WZ5BBS. I'm coming in on the 250, so let me know if you can hear me.
Sir, the net recognizes Rusty, WZ5BBS. Anybody else want to check in?
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Ken, coming in through the 446.775.
This is KI5RXT, Sally in Oak Hill, and I'm coming in on the 250.
This is KG5UNK, Doug, North Austin.
All right, I got 4 check-ins there. Thank you, guys. Let's go up and check with Mr. Rusty, WZ5BBS. Rusty, what's going on, man? How's the weekend treating you?
It's been a very good weekend. I unfortunately did not get to go fox hunting, but now that I know where your fox is, if I can get there before you do, I at least can get it on the log. I'm not going to go to Round Rock, though. But, yeah, just hanging out at the house and hanging out with friends and having a good time. So nothing super crazy, but no real radio stuff, just hanging out with buddies and doing quite a bit of drinking. So that's pretty much my weekend in a nutshell. And I'm looking forward. I'm heading out to Florida on Saturday, so I'm getting all my ducks in a row, trying to get everything ready for that. So that's about it, man. Hope you're doing well, feeling better, and hope Mireya gets home sooner than later, man. WZ5
Alright, man, that sounds like a good weekend. Starting to do better here. I shouldn't complain. It's one of those things that it could be a lot worse. But yeah, I was wondering if you went out and tried to do some fox hunting, because Paul also hit his. I was not able to go out fox hunting. I was using my truck with all of the gear, so I was home just watching on APRS people drive around. But yeah, that was an interesting one. I wonder if anybody found that one, the Paul's foxes. But I guess I'll check with him later, since you were not fox hunting this weekend. But dude, I'm glad that you had a good one. I'm gonna send it back at you just in case I miss anything, man.
Yeah, I was really hoping to be the first one to find Paul's, but it didn't work out that weekend. It's always fun to have a double fox, and I was kind of curious if y'all had this going, if it was going to be impossible to find. I know Jeffrey was out looking for yours, but couldn't get it. So maybe on the next hunt we'll make it out there. I offered up. It's kind of a good thing. I offered up for anyone to come fox hunt with me. I got a couple people. They were busy this weekend, but want to go and hang out and learn about fox hunts. So that was good. But yeah, man, I'm just going to be kicking back and taking it easy for the rest of the night and get ready for this week.
All right, man. Well, thanks again for calling in. Always nice talking to you. Always a pleasure, my friend. And and I guess we'll stay in touch, and hopefully there is a fox hunting going on this coming weekend. If that's the case, we might be able to team up and bring some new people to the team and show them the little we know. So that'll be awesome, man. Thanks again for calling the net, Rusty. I'll talk to you soon, my friend. Let's go now and move to Ken, HQT. What's going on, Ken?
Just playing computer games. I didn't actually know this net existed before. I just happened to have my radio on, though, as I was sitting here on my computer. So that's pretty much what I've been doing all weekend, is just playing computer games. Back to you.
Right on, man. Yeah, we started the net. It's usually Mireya and myself. We share the net controls. She said some stuff and I say other stuff. But we started on June the 5th. On the University Link repeater system, and then the guys from the Oaks were nice enough to link us in as well. So we've been also linked into the Oak heel now. I know the flagship is down, and that has us limping here, but again, we still get pretty good coverage out there. Yeah, man. It's I guess while the weather stays this nice, quote quote. It's a good thing to stay indoors, playing video games, and just, watching TV or radio, in my case, because it does not get very appealing to get out there once you step out and feel the heat. In my case, it pushes me back in. But yeah, dude, I'm going to send it back to you one more time.
Well, I don't really have anything to add. Although I'll note that I actually didn't realize that the Oak was down until like several days after it went down, because I'm normally on the 441.775 machine anyway, because it's like 2 miles from my apartment. So I was kind of surprised to hear people talking about that. Anyway, back to you, KI6 HQT.
It's kind of a big deal. It's I didn't notice until it actually went down, because I use the 775 most of the time because it's pretty close as well to my QTH. But if I'm running the Thursday night net, I like to use the flagship just in case, because it's the main guy, and in case something goes wrong. But since it's been down, you can hear the difference when the guys are calling in. It's needed. I know we're working on it, and hopefully it will be up soon. So just need to hang in there until it's back up. Well, thanks again, Ken, for calling the net. I appreciate you calling in, man. Let's go check now with KI5RXT. Sally. Sally, what's going on? How's the weekend going on for you?
Hey Ernesto, good to hear you. Thanks for running the net. Hey, I never used this the 250. How are you reading me?
Quiet on this side, so it does pretty well for you.
Okay, sounds good. I just didn't know. I never really talk on this one, but no, things are great. I started work today. I worked 4 days, 4 tens, and so it was hot again, and I guess we have that to look forward to. So on my days off this weekend, I try to stay inside, so I have to find projects indoors, and one of my projects was patching the interior stucco of my house so I can have the AC on. But I also have delved into an untangling APRS, which is super cool. I've got this, the FTM 400 makes it pretty easy, but I think once I finally get this rig in my truck, I'm really going to enjoy that. But lots of YouTube videos and trying to untangle APRS. Back to you.
Right on. As you were talking now, I could hear some crackling, but I could hear you perfectly fine. So it still works really well. On the stucco, it's funny because usually whenever we move to a new house, Mireya's the person who takes care of that. She's the one who has the talent for those things, and she does the entire house and the ceilings and everything. I don't know where she finds the strength and energy to stay doing that, but she does usually the entire house. It's pretty cool that you're doing that as well. It looks like always to me, like a fun project to do. I just don't have the talent. I will mess it up, so I don't do it. But it's funny that you mentioned that because that's one of her things. And then the APRS, yes, I started playing with it shortly after I got my license. I have the HD. That's all I got at the time, and it came with APRS. And I remember I'll talk to Lance, KI5HHK. Let me let this breathe for a second. I will ask him tons of questions, and I'm sure it'll drive him insane, but he's a very patient person. And he guided me through it, and I know I still have a bunch of stuff to learn, but it's pretty amazing. I learned how to send text from my HD to Mireya's phone and all kinds of other things aside from just that. But I use it a lot, and got to the point where I even downloaded the app on my phone, so whenever I'm fox hunting, people can just follow me, drive around like a crazy maniac. But it's an amazing thing. The APRS is an amazing service. I know a bunch of guys in the clubs are big on APRS. I know Jeffrey does a bunch of APRS stuff and other guys too. But yeah, it's an amazing thing, the APRS part of it. And again, I started messing with it for a while, and then I kind of moved to HF once I got my general and forgot about it. But I still use it quite a bit, I would say. Back to you.
Oh yeah, that's funny. I sent my brother a text message with it, which was super cool, and then you can do email. So I've just tapped into the possibilities. But yeah, it's funny. I did end up getting my general, but I haven't even messed with HF because I keep it's like onion layers. You just keep peeling back these things with ham radio that I had no idea. So I think I'm gonna kind of mess with the APRS for a while. At some point, I'm gonna get the HF, but that's gonna be a whole different ball game. Yeah, so that's cool. I'm glad that there's lots of people out there who ask questions. Plenty of questions. But thanks for running the net, Ernesto. Appreciate it. I'm gonna hand it back to you. AI5RXT.
Sally, thanks again for calling the net. And just a reminder, I'm not sure if you are on Discord or not, but there is a channel there for APRS, so that's a great place to go in case you have any questions, because the guys will jump in and help out with anything related to that. So just something to keep in mind. Thanks again for checking in on the net and calling in. It's always nice talking to you, Sally, 73s. And let's go now and move to Doug, KG5UNK. Doug, what's going on, man? How's life treating you?
Oh, evening, everyone. Nesto, I hope you're feeling better. Sound a little better than you did a few days ago. Saturday I happened to be going out to a friend's house. I decided to go Mopac to 45, and I heard it at that point, and I heard your fox, and so I knew it had to be north of me, and I guess I searched for about 30 minutes and was able to find it. And then Saturday night, 6-meter FT8 kind of opened up and started working a little bit, and I picked up KA5D in the southern part of New Mexico, and I picked up W5TRL Tim, who lives out in Giddings. He was in the northern part of New Mexico. And then I guess, today I do my thing when the F1's on. I watch the racing and spend the time there at TV.
Right on. Did you go for Paul's Fox?
Man, I was gonna go out today and look, and time just kind of got away. I couldn't see when he was gonna pick it up. I couldn't see anything on time there, so I never got out. I didn't go anywhere today. Hey, and if you want me to hurry, I can beat Rusty over there before he gets there. I can pick it up, or at least make sure it's off.
I'm gonna move it so he cannot find it. No, just kidding. Actually, I think the battery might be dead, so I'm just curious. Well, I hope that that's the case, because I know Paul was having the same issue. He went to pick up his, and he said that the battery was completely dead on his, so, which is kind of strange, because usually we can play for like 3 full days, and sometimes even a little bit more, but maybe the battery is getting, I don't know, the mileage, maybe, I have no idea, but, yeah, I just one of those things. For the people who just moved to the area, I wanted to point the Round Rock, so that's why I went ahead and put it over there by the actual Round Rock.
Yeah, Roger. There was a little activity in the area. I kind of passed by it once the first time, and then figured that it had to be in that location. And of course, when I'm searching, I'm looking for the unusual, something that doesn't belong, and ladder line up next to a tree doesn't belong. KG5UNK.
No, but it's kind of hard to tell with the foxes, because there's some of us who have that type of antenna, the ladder lines, which is pretty, I guess. Well, it's not necessarily that easy to spot, but easier. And then the other one that have the little rubber ducky on top of the box, so it's kind of hard. I guess you need to know which one you're looking for, which person, the one who put it on, so you know what to look for. Because I remember when Philip put his first, I spent a lot of time looking up to the trees looking for an antenna. I don't know, like an hour looking for an antenna, and when I found it, I just started laughing when I realized it had a little rubber ducky, and I was just looking at the wrong places. But it's part of the game. It makes it a lot of fun. I'm just curious to see if when you found it, did you see more signatures up there in the log, or was it just you and Paul so far?
No, there were. I believe there were 3 in front of me. There may have even been one on the day before. I was kind of looking out for people because I had it uncovered, and I was sitting right there by the, and I just kind of pulled the log and the call in time.
AI5D.
And
Node
I guess
4
Paul
0
was, he was
9
before
3
me, but it seemed
connected
it seemed to me
to
there was
Node
at least
5
2 to
4
3 others
8
that
1
had picked it
4
up or had found
Node 4 0 9 3 3 connected
I'm kind of
to
curious
Node
if we
5
get more
4
people
8
participating from
1
up there, I'll
1
might put
5.
it up there more often. It depends on what I see on that log. I didn't get to check either how the signal was behaving because I went there mid-edge of a little car and all I have was DHT, so I just dropped it and basically left because it takes me like 2 hours to get up there in that little car. But oh man, but I'm gonna go in my truck to pick it up later and see what the situation is. I hope that I still have a fox, but we'll see, man. And I don't know if there's any fox hunting next weekend. I'm sure by then I should be up and running. So if there's anything going on, I guess we all can get together and head out. But yeah, dude, I'm gonna send it back to you, Justin Kessel.
Well, that was a good location. It wasn't in plain sight, but it was very easy to get to once you figured out where it was. And I know it had a good strong signal Saturday at I think around 4 o'clock. Like I said, I could pick it up over on Mopac and 45 at that elevated area right there. I heard it a couple times. That's what kind of sent me to that location. And thanks for placing it. And if you need anything, you can call here. KG5 UNK. Take it easy, man. 7-3.
All right, Doug. Thanks again for calling the net. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and thanks again for playing on the fox hunt this weekend. All right, let me do a station ID. This is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto KI5PZN from the 224.100 repeater, tone 100. On Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. Anybody else wants to come in and check into the Weekend Wind Down Net, please call in with your call sign and name.
K5 Tango Radio.
All right, I heard George K5TR. George, how are you, man? How's your weekend treating you?
K5PZN and the net, K5TR. Things are going well. Just got back this morning from a week and a half vacation to Arizona and Utah and lots of national parks and forest land and everything else. So trying to put everything away and clean clothes and all those other things.
Right on. Was that a road trip or were you flying up there?
Me and my girlfriend, we drove and stayed except for 2 nights in a hotel in the beginning and the end, we stayed in the forest and camped on national forest land or BLM land and had a good time. Where else? Grand Escalante, Arches, Mesa Verde, Chaco, Grand Canyon, both the north and south rims of the Grand Canyon. I think that covers most of it. Lots of driving.
Boy, that sounds like a really awesome trip. Out of all those places, the only one that I think I've been to is Mesa Verde, which is pretty awesome. I remember that. Was the temperature really, really bad out there, or were you guys okay, comfortable?
I mean, it depends on where you were. Some places it was pretty warm. It's a rainy season, so there was a lot of rain, especially the last 4 or 5 days. There was a lot of rain, so it was a little cooler.
Right on. Did you get to do any radio while you were out there, by any chance?
I didn't bother bringing a radio this time. So it was all hiking and.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad that you got to go out and have a good time, and I'm glad to hear that you guys made it back okay and went to see all of those places. Sounds like a really awesome trip. I like the fact that you got the hotel at the beginning and at the end. I'm sure you were enjoying that that last day at the hotel after camping for all those days. But yeah, dude, thank you again for checking into the net too and calling in. Always appreciate it. I'm gonna send it back to you one more time.
Oh, very good. I haven't. I noticed that 32 is down. 155 driving west, 59 Oak Hill, and I just turned on the radio. Only heard the last few check-ins. I don't know. But anyway, good to hear you. Yeah, if I see that in a minute, AI5AR multiple.
George, yeah, sounds like we're losing you there, but thanks again for checking into the net. George, just check into the net, and you check in too. All you need to do is call in with your call sign and name.
W5NDS.
Rod, what's going on, Rod? How's your weekend going on?
Well, I just finished some Indian dinner here, so things are going good now. And I was tied up out at the table there, but I wanted to make sure I called in before the net was over. So that's the report from me here. That's what I was trying to say. W5NDS.
Rod, I appreciate you always calling the net and talking to you. It was also nice talking to you earlier on 10 meters. I know you guys go to 6 meters afterwards, but I was so tired I took a nap right after the 10-meter net. Did you guys have a good 6-meter QSO or like a round table afterwards?
Well, it didn't last too long. There were only 3 of us there. I guess Doug came over and Steve and Jim. There were 4 of us there, but it didn't last very long. So no problem. When you need a nap, go for it, man. That's my motto. W5NDS. Anybody else left in the net, or is this it?
I'm gonna do another call for check-ins too, but just wanna appreciate you calling the net, Rod. It's always nice talking to you. Thanks again for calling. Anybody else wants to check in? Call in with your call sign and name.
This is AI5MVS.
AI5MVS. Ashley, what's going on?
Hey Ernesto, I've got Jeffrey right here with me, but he's not feeling very chatty tonight. But I told him I was going to check in for both of us. We've been doing lots of house cleaning today. We're both pretty wiped. But we've had a good weekend. We went yesterday and tried to find Paul's fox, and we got very close, maybe right on top of it, we're not sure, but we had other plans, we had places to be, and I think Jeffrey would have kept looking for it, but I made him leave. We went out to Valenti Beach on Lake Travis. We'd never been before, but it's a fun little water park with some pretty awesome, little bit sketchy, but really fun water slides. And then they were doing a movie on their nice sandy beach at the lake last night, so we watched Weekend at Bernie's, and it was fun. But I wanted to specifically give you a shout out, Ernesto, and say thank you. We enjoy your questions that you ask when you run the Thursday Night Net. We've been talking ever since then about discussing things that we've eaten, and we keep coming up with new answers.
Well, I'm glad that I can help with those things. It's funny. It's just I have a weird mind, and I'm a curious creature. I'm glad that you guys got out and went looking for the fox. Paul was tracking you guys down on APRS while you guys were looking for his fox, and he sent me a screenshot of I think the last park that you guys stopped and walked around. And when you guys see that screenshot, you guys are going to be so mad. You guys were literally there, like, just needed to turn your head probably and look to the correct bush, because you guys were literally there. I guess I was telling Paul that, yeah, we need to get Jeffrey an attenuator, because it sounds like that's probably the issue. It's probably too loud. But you guys were right there. And so that's going to be funny. On Valenti, yeah, that's a really awesome place. I haven't been there in, Jesus Christ, a million years. But it was fun. Whenever I checked it out, it was a long time ago. But it's a fun park. It's funny because it's out there. You don't know about it unless you drive all the way out there. But it's a really cool place to go. Did you guys get all sunburned, or did you guys get enough sunblock? I'm talking like a parent now.
I think we're both okay, sunburn-wise. Jeffrey's one of those really irritating people that really just tans. He doesn't burn. I burn, but I did put sunscreen on. We also didn't get there till 6, but we had like a timed entry of we could be there at 6 and then ride the rides for 2 hours until they close, and then the movie was starting after that. And so that's why I was kind of like, all right, fox hunting's over. Like, we're already going to be 15 minutes late to when we can get in the water park, and I was itching to do the slides and have time to do everything. I think we pretty well knew we were right there, very close to where Paul's fox was. We just couldn't quite put a finger on it, and yeah, Jeffrey was saying while we were there that he really needed to get an attenuator.
Yeah, I told him I have one for him, but just I haven't been able to see him because I've been all over the place and then sick, so that's the thing. But I have one in my truck somewhere for him so he can mess with it and see if he can figure it out. I saw that you guys got pretty close to mine, too. I'm sure you guys were looking for Paul, and that probably got all messed up over there with all the signals. But, yeah, I don't blame you, dude, because those foxes are happening almost every weekend, and the lake thing sounded like an awesome thing to do, and, you know, it's hot and whatever, but it's going to get cold at some point, so this is the time to go to the lake and enjoy that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm glad that you guys went out and have had a good weekend. Sounds like you guys had a blast out there with the fox and everything else that happened. But yeah, thanks again always for calling and checking into the net. I'm going to send it back to you one more time.
Alright, Jeffrey said real quick before I sign off, I should tell you my new answer I have for most disgusting or weirdest, whatever the question was, thing I ever have eaten. He said it's worth mentioning. I did one time as a kid go through the McDonald's drive-thru with my family. We were getting snacks. I ordered a chocolate milkshake. I took one sip and knew something was horribly wrong. And long story short, after not believing me for a while, my mother finally tried my milkshake. agreed that something was wrong. We went inside the McDonald's only to realize that they had connected a jug of barbecue sauce to the milkshake machine instead of what they thought was a jug of chocolate sauce. And instead of making chocolate milkshakes, they were making barbecue sauce milkshakes. And it was as disgusting as it seems like it would be.
That sounds pretty awful. I'm sorry that happened to you. It's just, I'm laughing because it's funny, but I guess you guys should have gotten some nuggets and just dip into the quote shake. Yikes! You imagine if you have, well, I guess if you have issues with sugar, you shouldn't be having one. But if you did and you didn't know, that would kill you within 10 minutes. I'm guessing that's a lot of sugar. Jesus Christ! I'm sorry that happened, but that's got to be up there with pretty disgusting flavors. I'm guessing just because of the amount of sugar, and it's obviously not supposed to be a drink. It's a sauce. But wow, was that here in Texas? You don't have to tell me the location, but was it here in Texas?
It was in Texas. It was in Aledo, which is just outside of Fort Worth. That's where my parents live, and that's where it was.
Well, those guys love their barbecue and barbecue sauce, I guess. Oh, thanks for sharing that. That's pretty. That's a good story, actually. I'm gonna send it back to you one more time, just in case I forgot something.
No, that's all we've got. Thanks for running the net. We appreciate it. Jeffrey says thanks as well. He's just over here folding laundry, and I am surely not going to interrupt him while he's doing that. But thanks for running the net. We appreciate you, Ernesto, and hope everybody out there has a great week.
Ashley and Jeffrey, you guys take care, and I will see you guys. We'll talk to you guys soon in one place or the other. You guys have a good night and an awesome week. Anybody else wants to call and check into the Weekend Wind Down net? If so, please call in with your call sign and name.
This is K5JM, Sam.
K5JM, Sam, I haven't talked to you in a while. What's going on, man? How's your life treating you?
Hey, Ernesto, I'm doing good. Good to hear you and everyone on the net, and I'm glad to hear you're back on the mend. And, yeah, life's been busy, but been good as well. But, yeah, just kind of winding down the weekend like the rest of us, I guess.
Did you do any of the, I think there was a contest going on this weekend, because I know that you're not doing for now, the fox hunting, but any HF contest going on this weekend for you?
Nope, no contesting for me this weekend. I guess there maybe was a big one going on. I just wasn't in a radio HF news this weekend. But no, it's been a pretty good weekend otherwise. Yesterday was kind of a lazy day, which was a nice change because the week has been busy. And then actually today ended up getting the radio I'm talking to checked out and ended up over at Tom K5TRA's house. Put it on the service monitor and we kind of checked it out. So good. And yeah, everything made a couple of adjustments. And no, that's I guess about the extent of my radio stuff this week.
All right, Sam. Well, that sounds like a pretty chill weekend. And are you using a 220 radio to come in, or are you using a dual bounder right now? Just curious on the radio that you got fixed.
Well, I'm using the HT, which is cross-banding, over to the KA5D repeater. So notoriously, I guess, the cross-banding is a little lower audio. So I'm curious, I did turn the mic gain up and check the deviation, did a couple things. So I'm curious, maybe, hopefully, audio is not too soft.
The radio is perfect. It's the volume is great and it's completely quiet. There's no static or anything on the background. It's really good sound.
great to hear that, Ernesto. Appreciate the check there. And it's really pleased to see how active the fox hunting community has gotten. I would have never suspected. I guess we did the first hunt maybe a couple years ago. And John really, AI5CFB was one of the original, I guess, instigators in the club who bought one of those little devices and set it up. And yeah, it was been on a couple of them for sure. And maybe if the interest continues, into the fall when it cools off a bit, maybe my motivation will be higher to go out. I'm not very motivated to do a lot of things outside right now.
No, I hear you. I'm the same way. So in case you want to participate while I'm hiding the fox, if I'm the one hiding it, I do not like the heat. I do not like being out there sweating. So my foxes are. It might give you a headache to find the area, but once you find the fox, and if you approach it to the right angle, like you shouldn't even break a sweat, from the car to the fox. Just a thought. But we'll continue doing those throughout the year, and yeah, they're a little bit more fun when the temperature is, let's say, I don't know, mid-70s or something like that. It's obviously, it's a little bit easier to be out and about, but if you want to, while I'm hosting, it's something that you could think about it. You can stay in the air conditioning of your car until you're probably within, I don't know, 100 feet or something like that, or probably less sometimes. Sometimes it's almost drive-throughs, but yeah, dude, I'm glad to hear from you and checking into the net. I'm going to send it back to you one more time.
Yeah, right on. Well, appreciate you running the net, and good to hear you out there. And yeah, we'll have to sync up here before too long. Maybe sit down somewhere for a drink or a meal. But, well, thanks for taking my check-in, Ernesto. K5JM. We'll say 7-3.
All right, Sam, and thanks again for checking on the net. Yes, sir, we need to get together soon for some drinks and food or all of them. But yeah, thanks again for calling the net. Does anybody else want to check into the net? Please call in with your name and call sign now.
Whiskey 5, Whiskey Tango Hotel.
Whiskey 5, Whiskey Tango Hotel. Pat, what's going on, man? How's your weekend treating you?
Yeah, Nesto, thanks for taking my check-in. It's going pretty well. I mean, it's hot, but, we're getting out and doing a couple of things and moving around. Been out of town a little bit, just kind of seeing some sights. And, it's been okay.
Well, right on. Are you back back in Austin? I know you were somewhere else. Are you back in town?
I am. I've been back a couple of days. I was in Park City, and it's a place it's the first time I've ever been there. I highly recommend going. It's a great place. Really enjoyed it. So I'm back in Austin in the heat, and I just kind of I check in. I listen a little bit every week, but on EchoLink, and I'm on EchoLink right now. And thought, hey, I get to check in this week. I got some time here.
Well, awesome. I appreciate you checking in, and thanks again for the information on the straight key for the CW. I think I'm gonna go with that one that you sent me, that link. I forgot the name, but the straight ones that you showed me. I have the little paddle one that I bought that has a little magnet, but I also want to have the straight one. And I've been hitting that sucker pretty hard, so I mean I'm not by any means get fluent or anything, but I feel like it's getting closer. So it's one of this Thursday night you'll hear me out there bugging you guys on the CW net, But I'm excited because things are starting to make sense, and the letters are starting to stick. It took a while, and like I was telling you over that Discord thing, I'm gonna try to get the numbers down and a few other codes, and then I'll jump in probably in a couple of weeks. Just obviously with my basic with my basic CW, so it will be fun, man. I'm looking forward to that. Thanks again for helping me out. Back to you.
Yeah, man.
All right, Pat. Well, I appreciate you checking in on the net. I know you're on Echolink, and I'm not sure if I hope I'm not doubling with you, but I'm gonna send it back to you one more time just in case, man. I don't know if I got everything from you. I might have lost you there. Well, Pat, I appreciate you calling the net, man. Thanks again for checking in and for helping me out with the CW stuff. Let me do a quick station ID just in case. This is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto KI5PZM from the 221.100 repeater, tone 100, on Sunday nights at 7:30 via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. Anybody else would like to check in into the Weekend Wind Down Net? If so, please call in with your call sign and name.
This is AI5, Romeo Bravo Tango, Kent, and Pflugerville.
KI5 RBT. Ken, what's going on, man? How's the weekend treating you?
I've actually had kind of a lost weekend. It's one of those things where you eat lunch and then you fall asleep for an hour or two, and then you get up and you do a few things, and you eat dinner and you fall asleep, and then you stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know where it's all gone, but one cool thing is I did get a VR 3D headset this weekend, so I'm playing around with that a little bit.
Well, that schedule sounds like me, because that's what I've been doing for the last few days. Just I get up, eat something, talk on the radio for a little bit, and then go and take a nap. But yeah, I get it, dude. And then it's like 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, and I'm wide awake. It's I'll get back on track. Hopefully this week. I'm sure work will make sure that I get back on track. So no fox hunting for you this weekend, Tim?
No, I told Ben that since he was out of town, I would delay the fox hunting. He really gets into it, so I figured I'd just take the weekend off, or take the couple of weeks off while he was gone. And I think he's coming back in about a week, so probably right after that. KI5 RBT.
Right on, man. Well, there's always a fox hunt either every weekend or every other weekend, but we stay pretty active, and you have your own too, so you know how that goes. But dude, thanks again for calling. I'm gonna send it back to you one more time just in case.
Appreciate you running this net. This is actually the first time I've been able to check in because I forget, and it wasn't on my calendar, so I put it on my calendar. And I appreciate it. I think it's pretty cool. It's a lot lower stress than Friday when I got destroyed on trivia for the first time in a while, but I think it's because my good luck charm wasn't here. All right, back to net, KI5 RBT.
Oh man, that trivia net, that's always fun. Yeah, I never, I'm always either in the middle of at the bottom, but it's always a fun game, and it's a good way to finish the week. I always look forward to the Friday night trivia net. It's a fun game for sure, man. Well, Kent, I appreciate you checking into the net, and I hope you have an awesome week, and I will talk to you soon, one way or the other. Anybody else want to check in? If so, please call in with your call sign and name. This is a Weekend Wind Down Net. All right. Looks like it's time to wrap up the net. So thank you for joining us for the Weekend Wind Down Net. We would like to thank Kyle, KF5E, and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club for letting us use their repeater system. Please visit the University Link Repeater System website to learn more. That's the ka5d.com. And to learn more about the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system, and including how to become a member, please visit the n5oak.org. I'm Ernesto, KI5PZN. I'm using the 224.100 repeater. And from my QTH here in East Austin, Texas, 73, and thanks again for participating and listening tonight. This system is now returned to regular amateur use. Good night, y'all. Thanks for checking in and participating.
All right, Ernesto, get to feeling better.
Thank you, Ken. I'll see you around soon. KI5PZN.